Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 3-0 Take, where we talk all things Major League Baseball. Here's Kyle Corwin and Nate Reyes. It all starts right now.
Welcome back to the 3-0 Take, presented by Big League Chew. This is episode 272. I'll be your host, Kyle Corwin, and I'm here with my co-host, Nate Reyes. Nate.
Yeah. What's up?
I am feeling a little, I don't know if bitter is the right word. Feeling a little
spicy?
No. Feeling a little sad, I guess you could say, that I'm not eligible for our Instagram giveaway. If I'm being honest.
Yeah. It's understandable. Am I eligible technically or no?
I would say, considering you're on this call with me, you're probably not eligible.
Probably not.
Probably just a gut feel there.
Here's what I will say, and I didn't just save this for the episode. I honestly just, I thought about it yesterday. I don't know why I didn't say anything to you. I was like, because if you're watching on YouTube, you can see that is Cal Ripken right there.
It is.
So I have that signed. So I told myself, I said, if I won, I'm going to give it to you. I'm like there's no point in me having a ball and a signed picture of him. So I was going to give you that.
Wow, that's really thoughtful.
Yeah, but I don't think either of us are going to win.
Yeah, I don't know if we're eligible for that.
Yeah.
Cal Ripken signed ball. I still don't know. I mean, it's got to be random. That I think Pristine Auctions, shout out Pristine Auctions for running this giveaway with us. Or I guess for us. I think they left it up to us. Like, just pick the winner, tell us who it is, tell us what the address is, and we'll have it out. So I got to figure out how we're
We're taking bribes now.
We're taking bribes now.
Yeah.
I mean, you feel free to pay us. I mean, it's still a steal. Even if you send us like $100, that's still a bargain.
Deal. What is that priced at? I mean, last I checked, I think it was worth I know the sign, like a signed picture. I think I looked it up. It's worth like $300 or $400.
Dang.
I think a ball is worth
it has
$600 or $700, right?
It has that logo on it, like his
Cal 8 logo.
Yeah, like the 20 seasons or whatever it was.
Yeah. That's cool.
So that might be a little more, but yeah, go if you haven't entered the giveaway for the Cal Ripken signed baseball, head over to our Instagram. I think you got about
easy.
One or 2 days left, probably by the end of the week. I think.
Yeah, super easy. Just go follow both pages and leave a comment.
Yeah, like the post.
And like the post. Simple.
Leave a comment. Follow both pages. Super easy. I had a little note here before we got into baseball talk. You already mentioned it, but our YouTube page. Going to keep growing that. So if you haven't followed our YouTube page, well, first of all, if you're watching on YouTube, hello to our new YouTube audience. If you haven't subscribed to that, go over and smash that button.
Yeah.
We're gonna start diversifying a little bit. We're gonna put up some different videos. Might even put up some stuff that's exclusive to YouTube only. So keep that in mind and head over and subscribe. And then the last thing I had here before we got into things was a little update on our. I don't know if it was contest, but I put out. I'm sure you saw it. I put out that story a while ago or a couple days ago on Instagram, asking people, what they wanted to call themselves, what the listeners, what the crew wanted to call themselves, the 3-0 Take listeners and followers, and got some submissions, some better than others, but submissions nonetheless. Do you want me to just run through these and maybe we can
let's
kind of
pick one,
pick our top 3 or 4 and then put out a poll? Because I think I said I was going to put out a poll with all right,
that's fair.
The top 3 or 4. All right. So we've got, let's see here. We've got the Takers. That was one of the more common ones, one of the more easy ones, I guess you could say. So we've got the Takers, another Takers. We got the 3-0 Hackers, which I think is something along the lines of what you.
I think I said Hackers. Yeah.
We got the Bullpen, which I like. The Bullpen's. I mean, it's not necessarily related to the name, but it's just that it's got that baseball edge to it. Another takers. We got Nate's Nasties. Love that.
That's cool.
Hates Nasties. Braves content with the humor. He says the 3-0 Take podcast listeners. Very, very
real
funny.
dry. Real dry.
Very
there.
funny. The 3-0 Dugout or just the Dugout. Another takers. 3-0 Take Nation. Sliders. Another taker. A lot of people. Maybe it just has to be the takers by default because it seems like the people just want to be called the takers.
They are the one hearing our take. I mean, it makes sense. It adds up.
The Dugout, the Sliders, the 3-0 Nuke Bombers.
Whoa. That's a
escalated.
mouthful.
That escalated. Nate's Nasties. I gotta love that.
I can't really.
I mean, again, I will say, the prompt was, to the listeners, what do you want to be called? Like, what do you want to call yourselves?
Yeah.
And a lot of them said the takers, so maybe they just want to be the takers.
The 3-0 takers. I don't hate it.
I don't hate it. Might use could use some tweaking a little bit.
Yeah.
Gotta be something there.
There's got to be.
Gotta be something there. All right, well that's our starting point. So
Fair.
we'll
Solid
go with that
effort.
for now. We'll sleep on it. Maybe
Yeah, I need to warm up to that a little bit.
maybe swing back on that on the weekend or next week, I should say. Sleep on it over the weekend. Our first topic of discussion today, my friend, Alec Bohm. Going back to Monday night, makes 3 errors. I think all of them were throwing, if I recall. All throwing. That's. Yeah. I would argue that's almost worse.
It depends. One of them was that like weird slow roller in between the mound and shortstop, where he's cutting across. He never should have thrown it. So that one I don't really like.
Yeah, no, you got to put that in your back pocket.
It's still an error, but like that is more like a mental thing. Like you're already going through it. You're trying to make a spectacular play to make up for what you've already done.
Yeah, you gotta just put that in your back pocket and live to see another day. But something about the throwing errors, I can speak from experience. It's almost different than a misplayed ball where it's like, okay, I didn't even really stand a chance at this point. But it's like you feel the ball cleanly, you make the throw.
That's yips. That's just straight yips.
Yeah, and then that kind of gets in your head, and then you
shuffle
can't really
one
recover.
extra time, pat the glove one extra time.
Yeah, and then you just
that's yippy.
You start trying to force it. You start trying to aim. When you start trying to aim, it's game over. And I think that's really what got to him. But as I'm sure many have already heard, they caught him on camera. Says, I effing hate this place. They picked it up. They caught him red-handed, and he owned up to it after. He said, I said it. Do I mean it? No. It's a frustrating night for me, obviously. Made a few mistakes in the field. Look, these people, these fans, they just want to win. You heard it. We come back. They're great. I'm just sorry to them. I don't mean that. Gotta say, I believe them. We've all been there.
Yeah.
One of my favorite, and I don't even remember who tweeted it, but I saw a tweet where it was like, Alec Bohm is one of us. We've all been at our jobs, or we've been at a place that we just don't enjoy, and we've said, I hate this place, and then say, well, I was in my emotions. I don't actually mean that. And it was like, Alec Bohm is just an average guy. He's one of us. He's an average Joe.
Yeah.
We've all been there.
Yeah, I agree. And I mean, it's I'm sure he's feeling a little bit of pressure. You know what I mean? He had kind of a down year last year. You know, there's a lot of veteran guys coming into this lineup that just are straight boppers. So maybe you're a little jealous of them. You also got, Stott potentially coming up and swooping his spot. So
swinging it pretty well.
There's probably some added pressure to that. But I mean, that's what you got to do. You got to own up to it. 100% got to own up to it. As far as the next day out.
All right, let me ask you about this, because I know we were going back and forth in it in the group chat, but I didn't see your response. So I was maybe thinking you were just going to sit on it until we hopped on the podcast. But did you think that the standing ovation that Alec Bohm received the night after was genuine or not?
I feel weird saying 50-50, but I'm going to say genuine. And here's why. I think it would be ingenuine if it was the same fans returning. You know what I'm saying? If it was the same fans that gave you, like the Bronx cheer when you finally made your first throw after the 3 errors, right? Like, that's one thing. If they're coming back the next day and then they're giving you a standing ovation, I think they're still trolling. But I think the fact that there's a new group of fans, they saw the comments, obviously. They saw the interview. I would lean towards genuine, honestly. Just because it is refreshing. Finally, we get somebody that just owns up to it. Like, we have people all the time that just won't own up to stuff.
That's what I'm saying.
All over media, all over politics, all over athletes. Like, there's always some type of like excuse or, trying to be squirmy around what happened. Like, just own up to it. And he did.
Yeah, that was my point this whole time is you find it's refreshing because you finally have a guy that owns up to it. He's not trying to skirt like, no, like that's not what I said, even though you clearly saw what I said on TV. It's like, very clearly said it. He acknowledged it. And like I said, he admits to what we've all done. He's like, it's just a bad day at the park. It's a bad day at the old job. We've all been there. Probably more than we'd like to admit. I know I probably feel like that every day, and I'm trying to work on getting better with that. But
anything, like it's not even just work. Like it could be anything you enjoy. I love golf. I will say that 5 times every round. I hate this game. I'm selling my clubs. Like it happens all the time.
It's and then you get to 18.
Enjoy the most. And then you're like, damn, I can't wait to come back out after you drain a 40-foot putt to save your 96 scorecard. It's what we are. It's what we do. We get frustrated. He obviously cares. He's obviously not off to a great start and it's bugging him. And I saw the video of Trevor Plouffe reacting to it on like the John Boy stuff. And he was saying that like, just turn into the skid. Like we're all here. We're not here to play defense. Phillies are just going to hit, right? They're clearly not going to have a good defense. The problem is he's not hitting either. If he was hitting, he could have had fun with this, but he is really, truly struggling.
Is he struggling though? Because I actually looked, I assume that was the case. And then I was like, let me just double check his numbers. And I'm pretty sure.
Is he doing okay?
So he's had 9 plate appearances this year, 5 ABs, 3 of those have been walks. 5 ABs, 3 hits. So he's 3 for 5.
He's not getting his time though. He's not getting his time.
Yeah, he's not getting his time because Stott has more plate appearances than he does,
so I think that's probably the center of the frustration.
It's a very small sample size, no doubt. But
that when he finally does get out there,
yeah,
and he gets a chance to play, he has 3 errors.
Yeah, he's definitely pressing. It's safe to say. And even if he doesn't own up to that, it can be assumed, just like we said with the Stott situation and just the offense that has been touted going into the season that they have. So it makes sense. You hate to see it.
Philly, it's true. Philly is not. It's not an easy place to play.
No, not at all.
Like any sport, across the board, Philadelphia fans expect a lot. They have high expectations, and they're tough. They're mean. Those fans are ruthless, dude. Like they basically got Carson Wentz out of the Eagles organization on their own. Like they run people out of town. Do you think Alec Bohm is going to be able to deflect that in any way? No. It's going to happen if they want it to happen. So I think that was, in my mind, that's what leads to that they had the respect for him, the way he answered it, and that's why I think the standing O was genuine. Sure, there was probably some assholes in there, but
the poor kid was born in Omaha, Nebraska. I hate to say it. I don't know if he's built for the Philly market. Put him in. I mean, honestly, the places that come to mind, they already have their cornerstones. I'm thinking like put him in like St. Louis, put him in San Diego.
I would put him. I was thinking more like,
honestly, Kansas City. Put him in Kansas City. You can't put him there, but
Bobby Witt's there at third. So I mean, maybe Seattle. If Suarez doesn't do his thing, I don't know. Go play in Miami. They obviously don't care about much.
Put him in Miami. You hate to see it for the kid, though.
Yeah,
he seems like a good dude, and
I like him. I honestly do like him.
He's just in one of those unfortunate situations where, like you said, you got stock coming up behind him.
Yeah.
And I think it's safe to say probably going to surpass him if he hasn't already in the minds of that organization and its fans.
Yeah.
In terms of playing time and this or that, but just tough.
He might just not be made for Philly.
Yeah. We've all been there, though.
Yeah.
All that to say, we've all been there. Nate, the biggest topic of controversy in baseball the last 24 hours, Clayton Kershaw getting pulled after 7 innings of perfect baseball. 13 Ks. He had 80 pitches under his belt. What are your thoughts?
So, I mean, it's obvious that was the game plan coming out. You know, before first pitch is thrown, Dave Roberts says Clayton Kershaw agrees on 80 pitches. That's our limit. That's what we're going to. You know, that's just the plan. My reaction initially is I felt bad for Barnes behind the dish. Is it Barnes? It was Barnes, right? It wasn't Will Smith catching.
That makes sense.
Behind the plate. Yeah. Barnes, I think Barnes was. That's who I felt bad for. And I watched the video of Kersh giving like hugs in the dugout. And you could see Barnes looks at him like, why are you hugging me? And you could tell that he wasn't in the loop. You could tell there was a little bit of a surprise. There's certain things that can happen in sports where you can deviate from the game plan. And the truth is, I making a chance at, making history is going to be one of those things you can deviate for.
A chance at the 24th perfect game in Major League Baseball history. I'm tired of hearing these people say, well, it's early, it's not worth it.
I think a no-no is a different story. A perfect game, sorry, you got to go for it. You owe it to baseball, I think. As a competitor
and as a veteran who's been here before, he's not some young prospect who you gotta rein in. You gotta watch his
like a Ross Stripling that had a no-no in his debut that Dave Roberts pulled. Different circumstance, but still relevant.
And I get it. He missed time in the postseason with forearm issues. I understand that. But he was only at 80 pitches.
Yeah.
At the very least, let him start the inning. If he goes out and gets one out within the first 1 or 2 pitches,
let it ride.
Yeah. I think you're just assuming it's okay, well, 80 pitches, let's average that out. He's probably going to finish the day with 100 plus. You don't necessarily know that. And we're not, and we won't know that because he was never given the chance. And the other thing that people say is they point back to Johan Santana's in 2012, or his no-hitter. They said, well, do we remember what happened there? His career pretty much was ended after that, after they let him ride it out to 134 pitches. He was at 134 pitches. Clayton Kershaw needed 6 outs, and he was at 80 pitches.
He's not going another 54 pitches.
Do you realize how efficient you have to be to make it to the 8th with 80 pitches under your belt?
Yeah. I mean, I think it's a different story if it was through 6 and 80 pitches, knowing 9 outs, probably only 15 or 20 pitches to work with to get there. Okay, that's one thing. But through 7, we got to give that a run. We got to give it a chance. I did pull some stuff on the contrary of understanding where Kershaw is, because I think it's less about build up for this year. It's more of what he's dealt with. And I know you kind of mentioned, the injury. After July 3rd last year, he threw a total of 15 and a third innings. This spring, he threw a total of 11 and 2/3 innings. So his comments, and what was his quote? Right? He said you can blame me for not picking up, a baseball all winter during the lockout. Blame the lockout, and then, blame me for not picking up a baseball.
Which I know
Why?
people are. I know. What do you mean? Why?
Why aren't you picking up a baseball? I understand the injury stuff. I understand, but as a veteran, you're going to keep riding it out. And if you think that, I can't imagine anyone else just saying, yeah, I'm good. I'm done. Move it to the next guy. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't add up for me. I don't like it. It rubs me the wrong way. And it's like, there's certain things you do and don't do in baseball. And I think this just kind of spat all over any veteran pitcher ever. Anybody that's ever been on the mound in a major league game would say, I would, and any catcher, like I said, for Barnes, would be like, I would chase that until my arm fell off. You're going to tell me Nolan Ryan is going anywhere? Even in today's game, it's the mentality that I think can overcome that physical ability. And how many pitchers have thrown, we can even include no-nos. How many pitchers have done that on a no-no or perfect game and said, I felt like trash all day? David Wells was still drunk from the night before when he threw his perfect game. And he was completely hungover. You've had guys saying, I had no feel for my slider. Certain things just happen. Certain things just line up in this game, despite how we feel as an individual or as a competitor. They just happen. It's just the way it goes. A certain ball can be fair or foul by a couple inches, and that's just the way baseball goes sometimes. I think it's a smack in the face to anyone that's played this game and competed at any level, because that's something that's not clearly, with only 23 ever, done very, very commonly. So it's extremely disappointing, although I do understand it. And like I said, with the lack of his, innings over the last 6 or 8 months, lack of throws on that arm, I understand it. But is your career over if you go up to 100 pitches? Even if you go out in the 8th and try to chase it? All that's going to be is, at that point, that's going to either be a walk or a hit or a quick out. In my mind, I don't think you're going to have a 12 pitch at bat, and then it's like a pop up or something. You know what I mean? At that point, I'm in this. I'm going to go for it. It's really disappointing. And I do understand it's a long season. It's a marathon. Kershaw has had his injury issues for sure. But you don't do that to the game of baseball, in my mind.
I'm very disappointed in the culture surrounding pitch counts. Like I understand that there's so much money invested in these arms. I understand that. I understand that the health of these guys, who these teams are investing so much money in, is paramount to historical feats such as this. I understand that. But like you mentioned, would his career be over if he went up to 100 pitches? Prior to Wednesday, his longest outing of the year was 75 pitches in a sim game, which was last week.
Mm-hmm.
Are you really telling me that Clayton Kershaw, a guy who has been around the block, isn't capable of, at the very least, starting the 8th inning just to see where it takes him? And if he makes it through the 8th quickly, are you really telling me that
he can't go another 15?
That his career's coming to an end?
It's why are you here? Why did you come back? And that's a legitimate question. He could have retired. Why are you back? Why did you come back to the Dodgers? At your age, you've accomplished anything you need to accomplish. You're a Hall of Famer. Kershaw is going to be a Hall of Famer. Kershaw is going to go down as one of the best Dodger pitchers ever. Why are you back? Is it not to prove that you can still do this at an elite level at your age with your track record? Is it not to prove that you can still be at the front of a rotation? You talk about guys that can hit in that lineup. You got Buxton, who's off to a crazy start. You've got Correa. You've got Sano. Guys can hit. You're working your way through this lineup. What are you here for? Why are you still playing? For moments like that. For opportunities like that. And it's not fair for you to automatically say that if he goes 105 pitches and pitches this perfect game, that the Dodgers have no chance of winning the World Series and he has no chance of playing a healthy season? Why? You're telling me the adrenaline of the 24th ever perfect game can't get you over those last 8 or 10 pitches? Why are you here? This isn't a puzzle that you can just solve, that you can figure out. The whole season is just put it together. This is why the Rays haven't won. Right? That mentality only works for so long. I'm trying to imagine if Vin Scully was still in the booth and how he would narrate that. An old school guy that's probably seen anything and everything across this game. It's a disgrace. It's embarrassing. I'd be embarrassed.
It's not Dave Roberts' first time doing such a thing. Got a little note here. Since 1901, only 2 pitchers have been pulled after 7+ perfect innings. Rich Hill on June 10th in 2016 and Clayton Kershaw April 13th of this year. The Dodgers manager in both of those games, Dave Roberts.
Rich Hill is pissed. You remember those highlights of him being pissed in the dugout, fighting with Dave, slamming bats around? That's a competitor. I think Clayton Kershaw is a stud. I think Clayton Kershaw has earned everything that you can earn in a pitching career. But I'm questioning the competitiveness at this point. Why are you here? Just to milk your way through the regular season and hope that you can, get a ring out of this?
The only thing I can really think of is that maybe his long play here is to get a ring that nobody can question. That's really nice. And even at that point, if the Dodgers, if you really kind of zoom out and look at the big picture here, even if they do win the World Series this year, you know that it's just going to be, well, they just buy every MVP and throw them into the lineup.
The narrative is always going to be that way. Like for teams like this.
At some point, Clayton, you just got to go out and get what's yours, man. Like if your team wins a World Series, great, another ring for the finger, but people are still going to question it. Like,
this is a smack in the face, dude. This is a smack in the face to any kid that's chased the dream as long as he could, just like we did, and came up short. This is a smack in the face to any catcher that puts in hours and hours of studying the opposition's lineup, putting hours of work in bullpens with your staff. It's a smack in the face, dude. It's horrible for baseball.
80 pitches over 7 innings. That comes out to 11.4 pitches. You can probably
let him go one more.
You can probably extrapolate that and say, based on how efficient he was with the 13 Ks, he's probably not going to go much higher than that average.
Yeah.
So you give me 20, let's say 25 pitches, a little more than twice. You're telling me Clayton Kershaw can't throw 105 pitches for a perfect game?
What? I mean, what does it do? Like that there's so much positive impact when that happens. There's so much, you're etched in stone forever next to complete legends. And you give that moment to your entire squad, everyone in the dugout, everyone on the field. You robbed us of potentially a great moment, a great diving play. You robbed us of that opportunity. If you go out in the 8th, you give up a knock after 8 pitches, 10 pitches, 12 pitches. We're tipping our cap to Kershaw for everything he's been through in the last 8 months. We're tipping our cap to him saying, despite all the stuff you've been through the last 8 months, you gave it a run. You came up short, but hell yeah, I'm here for that. I turn on Dodgers games when you're pitching because of that. I'm not really interested in watching it anymore. If Dave Roberts is just going to be out there with a frickin' calculator and a pitch counter, I'm good.
I think my frustration stems not from Dave Roberts presumably playing puppet and being told, all right, this is what we're doing with Kershaw, and him just following through on that. My frustration even really isn't necessarily with it. It doesn't lie with Kershaw either. While I am frustrated in different ways, respectively, for both of those guys.
I'm with you. I'm frustrated with what baseball is now.
It's just the culture surrounding, specifically surrounding pitch counts, and just the quarterback treatment that we're giving these pitchers. It's like, let it eat just a little, please, for the sake of baseball.
Yep.
I don't want to see starting pitching dwindle down to what I feel like it's already down the road. It's already headed down, where you're going to maybe get 3 or 4 innings out of the guy to open up the game, and then you're going to have a couple long reliefs in the middle, and then maybe you're an 8 or 9 guy to close it out. Yeah. That's not baseball.
No.
It's not baseball.
Nope. And what you said about the quarterback treatment is arguably the best, most accurate thing I've heard. It's true. If we want to look at football and say, what has fans pissed off, it's a little bit of that. It doesn't feel like football as much because everything's a flag, right? Quarterbacks can't get hit during practice. Quarterbacks can't get hit below the knees. They can't get any contact to the helmet, or it's a 15-yard penalty. It's soft. It's an exact easy translation to the baseball side of things. This is soft. This is soft. You're at the highest level. You're not a kid that's 12 years old who already threw the first game of the tournament, and now you're in championship game in the Sunday, and you're exhausted. I get that. 12-year-old, is it worth ruining his entire future? Probably not. Kershaw's future is not that wide. We don't have a whole lot of room left. Go for it. Go for it and give every member on that Dodgers team a chance to be a part of history. To witness that. Do it for every fan that's in that crowd. To witness that. They're in Minnesota, right?
Yep.
Why not? You have Minnesota fans watching their team just get absolutely bombarded by guys that have been slumping. Bellinger finally getting over the slump, right? Max Muncy finally getting over the slump. What else are we here to root for? To see history. How cool of a moment would that have been to watch Minnesota fans stand up and applaud one of the greatest to ever do it for giving max effort? But no. The analytics in our game have gotten out of control, and this is a perfect example. Stop treating this game like a math equation. It's exhausting and it's boring. And it's highly, highly embarrassing. Because I've had friends that aren't baseball fans really asking me, what do you think of this? It's pretty embarrassing. I agree. And I love this game. And it's being ruined because of crap like this.
Nate, we got to talk about Vladimir Guerrero Jr.'s night from Wednesday.
Oof.
But before we do that, I want you to tell me a little bit about my favorite bubble gum.
Big League Chew. Founded by former left-handed pitcher Rob Nelson, Big League Chew started from humble beginnings in the Portland Mavericks bullpen in 1977. For more than 40 years, the iconic pouches packed with shredded, flavorful bubble gum has become the #1 shredded gum of athletes everywhere. Big League Chew has sold more than 900 million pouches and is designated as the Hall of Fame bubblegum. Grab some gum and head to Big League Chew's social media channels, at Big League Chew on Twitter and at Big League Chew Gum on Instagram to show off your Big League bubbles. You can also find a list of retailers or purchase any of their products directly from their website at bigleaguechew.com. Big League Chew.
Big League Chew. And a big league hitter in Vladimir Guerrero Jr. 4 for 4 on Wednesday night. 3 tanks, 4 ribbies. And this was in the midst of a game in which he had his hand stepped on by a one Aaron Hicks.
Yeah.
Drew blood on his uniform. Just not a good situation to be in. Totally understandable if you get pulled, but he was quoted after the game as saying something along the lines of, I told the guys that there was no chance I was getting pulled out. And, good for you. I mean, we just got done talking about a guy. This isn't going to turn into a Clayton Kershaw slander hour, but we just got done talking about a guy who was pulled from a game because it's early in the season. But then on the flip side, you got a guy who has his hand spiked.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, you're what, 5, 6, 7 games into the season? Totally understandable if you just want to cool it, make sure you get right for games moving forward.
Who has a lot of future left in his career.
A lot at stake. And he's like, yeah, no, we're in the Bronx. I'm going to continue to show out. And show out he did. Again, 4 for 4, 3 bombs. Is it safe to say, Nate, that Vladimir Guerrero Jr. is the most recent father of Gerrit Cole? I mean, there's a lot of them out there, but
honestly, I mean, yeah, it's just I watched every pitch of that game. The only thing Cole did wrong was that first home run. It was a slider up that kind of spun. And he hit it center field. And Hicks thought he had robbed it, and it slipped out of his glove and went over. Other than that, I mean, the second home run was 5 inches inside at 97. I don't even understand how, like, that's insane. He pulled his hands in and he just absolutely barreled it into the bullpen. The next time up was 0-2 fastball that just like emergency swing double down the right field line. Then you have Loaizaga, who's one of the nastiest dudes in all of baseball from bullpens, coming in with like a 95, 96 mile an hour sinker at his back knee. It's a better job of hitting. It's not anything else. As far as Gerrit Cole goes, he was on. He didn't do anything wrong last night. His line was 5 2/3. He only gave up 4 hits, 1 walk and 6 Ks. Like, he was doing fine for his second start of, this ramp up period for pitchers. I'll take that line any day. It was just that Vlad is Vlad. And this was showing who he is and what he's capable of. Because those are not home runs for anyone else. I'm sorry. The way he pulled his hands in for both of those fastballs in is absurd. I'll give him that slider that hung his first AB. But other than that, that was just a better job of hitting.
The calls for a premature MVP award to be handed out were aplenty last night, and rightfully so. I mean, have a night, Vladdy Jr. But it, again, small sample size here, but it kind of goes against what I was saying when we were making our preseason picks and predictions and all that. And I said, I just don't know how Vladdy. I mean, he's going to come out mashed. There's no debating that. But
sure.
It just. Yeah. It really made me wonder, to go inside the mind of Vladdy, and you put up the numbers in the season that you did last year, and you don't really come away with anything to show for it.
Yeah, flirted with Triple Crown stuff.
Flirted with Triple Crown was in the obviously in the MVP discussion was really either him or Shohei, and you don't come away with anything really. Yeah. I just don't know how that affects you going into the following season, but clearly he's found a way to ramp it up even more. And I think there's a good likelihood that we somehow, believe it or not, see something even more impressive than what we saw last year.
Yeah. He's capable of it. You can see it. The dude is a raw, talented, natural hitter. Could end up being better than his dad ever was. His dad's a Hall of Famer. So I think the talent is there. And it doesn't matter who is pitching. I know the narrative is Gerrit Cole, blah, blah, blah. Like he's been terrible since this moment. That's what you tweeted, right? He's been terrible since Boston.
Hasn't been the same.
It's 3 starts. So a 3-start stretch for anybody, anytime, can be bad.
Am I wrong?
I get it. No, I think it's clear that he's dealing with confidence issues. I'm not arguing that, but that's why I read his line. His line wasn't even bad. It's not even bad. There's only one pitch that you would redo, and it's that slider. Everything else was money. A fastball that's this far in for 98 at your belt. That's just like tip your cap. And you could see, that's what he said post-game stuff. I pulled some of the quotes.
If you had a cap, you'd tip it too.
My goodness.
I don't think the Yankees are paying Gerrit Cole $1 billion to be making comments like this after games.
It is what it is, dude.
3 runs.
This is the way it goes sometimes. This is the way it goes. This is what baseball is. And it's the same argument for, the Twins and the Dodgers. The Twins would have tipped their cap the same way if Kershaw pulled that off. It's just, that's how it goes sometimes. Then you can use that same argument and say the Twins front office isn't paying all this money to an entire lineup to get no hit or perfect gamed against. You know what I'm saying? So I get your argument, but this is how games go. This is how talent goes sometimes.
I know how baseball works.
No, because this argument only is for Gerrit Cole. This argument is only for the Yankees. And this is what pisses me off. And it's fine. I get it. There's a lot of pressure. There's a lot of expectations for the Yankees. There's a lot of expectations for Gerrit Cole. We're not having this conversation with any other pitcher at all, especially in April.
Yeah, because no other pitcher's getting paid $500 million to do what he does.
Money goes everywhere, dude. Money goes everywhere. Money goes everywhere. No one pays Mike Trout a ton of money to only play 40 games a year. But no one talks about that. It's the narrative. It's who you want to hate on. And I get it. You either love or hate the Yankees, and that's fine. That's the way it is. That's the way it's always been. That's the way it always will be. All I'm saying is that line is a pretty good game for his second outing of the year against that lineup. Vladdy is just Vladdy.
He's not. You know what? You're right. I'm not going to argue anymore. All I'm going to say is
I get it. I see what you're saying. I'm not happy either. I'm not saying I'm happy losing that game. It was devastating. It sucks. I'm more pissed off about the Yankees offense than what Gerrit Cole did last night.
Yeah, you heard it here first, folks. Yankee fans are unraveling a week into the season. It's all downhill. It's all downhill.
That's why I can't do this anymore. It's ridiculous to just point out Yankees guys because they make this bag and they do this. It's ridiculous. That's a good line. It was a good game. Vlad was just better and literally single-handedly won that game.
Yes, but you keep going back to this like nobody gets the same kind of scrutiny. Gerrit Cole should be, of all the guys in the league, should be receiving the highest level of scrutiny and should be held to the highest standard for his craft and what he does and what he's able to do performance-wise. And if he doesn't live up to those things, then a conversation needs to be had. That's all I'm saying.
No, it's not under this microscope for anyone else.
That's my point. Nobody else should be under that microscope.
Why not? Why can't Scherzer and across the street be under that microscope? DeGrom, Mike Trout, guys that have massive contracts to big teams with high expectations that don't perform, don't get the same kind of scrutiny as Yankees players do. That's the truth. That's a guaranteed fact.
Well, Mike, it's statistically...
Because everyone wants to talk noise about Giancarlo Stanton. Dude's lived up to his contract. I'm fine with the way he's playing.
It took him a while.
Not really. If you look at the numbers, he's fine. Ever since he came on board, he's been fine. It's different. The microscope is smaller and more focused on Yankees players, and that is a fact. We ignore everything else. We ignore everything else across the board for other teams. If Gerrit Cole said, I'm done after 80 pitches and he had a perfect game going, burn the city down. Burn it down.
Now, I'll give you that. If Gerrit Cole was in that situation, all of the hate would be targeted towards him.
Exactly.
Whereas with
Clayton
LA,
Kershaw, I get it. Clayton Kershaw has earned more than Gerrit Cole. I'm not here to say that they're on the same level.
And more hate was targeted towards Roberts. I will give you that.
Exactly. That's what I'm trying to say, is that it's centralized. But instead of us just saying, Vladdy had a night, we have to say he's Gerrit Cole's daddy? Why? It's just the way it goes. Gerrit Cole missed one pitch.
I didn't say that. I threw out the question.
All I'm saying is that let's start scrutinizing other people besides Yankees players. That's all I'm asking. That's what's exhausting for me. I don't have any Yankees friends, by the way. I have one friend that I text sometimes during a game, but more often than not, he's just working. I have no one else. Everyone else I talk to about baseball just dumps on everything wrong with the Yankees. It's exhausting. Look elsewhere because there are problems everywhere.
All right.
Everywhere.
You're right. I'm gonna start scrutinizing other pitchers. You're right. Can you send me a list of pitchers that have the same contract as Gerrit Cole? And then
I don't know. There's a boatload of money going towards Trevor Bauer, and he just beats women. So
wow,
we're not giving any scrutiny that way, right? We're giving more scrutiny to a guy that is playing than a guy that isn't playing. We're giving more scrutiny to a guy that's actually trying to work through stuff versus a Mike Trout who plays barely ever. He's the greatest player of all time. Show me on a regular basis then. Does anyone else get that? Did anyone else get that title? Does anyone say that Gerrit Cole is the greatest of all time? No, but that's what the Yankees had to spend to steal him away from the Angels. So they spent it. It's a lose-lose at all times when it comes to Yankees. That's just the truth.
It's
the
life
lose-lose.
he chose.
I get it. All I'm saying is that you're mad when they don't spend money. You're mad when they give a Gerrit Cole too much money. You're mad when Giancarlo gets too much money and he doesn't live up to the contract.
Whoa. For the record, that's not me. I'm not mad that they spend money.
That's the comment, though. That's the narrative, right?
Not
Anytime it's about the Yankees, it's, well, they're not spending money to go win a contract or go win a series, right? They're not spending the money to go get it. They're not getting the free agents. Okay, now they spend all the money and they finally win a ring. You're just going to say it's just because of the payroll, just like they did in the 90s and early 2000s.
I've never said the payroll thing.
I'm saying in general. I'm saying anyone that hates on the Yankees.
That's fair. Okay.
It's either about the payroll when they do succeed. It's about them not spending money when they don't succeed. It's about their guys not living up to the contract when they do finally sign somebody for a big contract. It's ridiculous. Enough. The Yankees are just another baseball team. Their expectations are just as high as any other front office and organization. It just is what it is. I think this was Vladdy's night. I don't care if Gerrit Cole gave up 3 bombs because the rest of the line looks pretty good. That's my argument. That's what I'm sticking to. So attack other people besides Yankees for once. For once. Not you. I'm saying baseball fans. It's okay. You can hate the Yankees as much as you want, but don't use those arguments only for Yankees players. Use it for other guys.
No, you're right. I just hope Gerrit Cole picks out something nice for Vladdy for Father's Day. Nate, did you say seat? Let's talk about SeatGeek. It's the answer to all your ticket needs. Are you looking for tickets?
Unreal.
Do you have plans with friends or family to make it to an upcoming game or concert? Or are you even looking months ahead to nail down a date to get tickets before they sell out? With SeatGeek, you can find tickets to games, concert shows, and even theater performances. Yes, Nate, theater performances. With just a few easy clicks. We're making it even better for you if you're a first-time user. SeatGeek. Next time you add some tickets to your cart, use our promo code. What's our promo code, Nate?
DTD?
No, it was DTD. It's new. If you've been with us for a while, it shouldn't be new. But no, it's not takers. It's the number 3, the number 0 take pod. That's the 30 take pod.
30?
No, we're not the 30 take pod. We're the 30 take pod at checkout to save $20 instantly off your first purchase as a first-time user. That's all you got to do to save some of that.
Codard cash.
Enter promo code the 30 take pod at checkout.
My last thing to say here. And I'll wrap up.
My.
No, yeah.
Unreal.
I'm doing it. No, I'm doing it. Same thing with Aaron Judge's extension. The argument is just about Aaron Judge. It's about the Yankees and what's going wrong. You have plenty of other guys that deserve to get paid that shut down their extensions and said no. Xander, Devers, 2 of them that deserved just as big of a bag that said no. So all I'm saying, the scrutiny needs to be spread across the league. It's getting old. That's all. That's it. Keep hating on the Yankees as much as you want. It fuels me as a fan. I'm sure it probably fuels a lot of those players too. I don't know. But all I'm saying is that if you're going to look through that lens, move that lens across the league all over the place, and you'll find the same damn problems. Rant over.
Sorry, I'm just trying to figure out who the Yankees play on June 19th. If it's the Blue Jays, I'm gonna lose it. You gotta be kidding me, dude. The Yankees play the Blue Jays on Father's Day. I mean, how more fitting can that be? Wow, I'm gonna tune in for that matchup. I hope Gerrit picks out something nice. Nate, let's talk about
Vladdy. I'm gonna say all credit. Seriously, all argument aside, Vladdy is dope. He earned that night. It wasn't given to him. He did his thing. I think that makes the argument even better. Gerrit Cole was on his stuff. He only missed with one pitch, and Vladdy still went 4 for 4 and had a night of nights. The dude is a stud. He's going to do his thing. The fact that he stays through with the cut finger, like that shows me the mentality. The Blue Jays just have the switch has been flipped for them. Look out for the Blue Jays. Both of us have them going deep in the postseason, don't we?
Yeah, which, by the way, some guy, I meant to tell you, I didn't text you. Some guy commented on the post the other day and said, he said something along the lines of, like, these are terrible takes. The Braves aren't going anywhere. And I'm like, we both have the Braves in the World Series, guy. What are we talking about?
Yeah.
Anyway, that just proof that people just don't read.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Bryan Reynolds getting the extension. The Pirates really dipping into their bag and giving him a candy bar and like $5. They're on they gave him a 2-year extension that was announced today, Thursday. According to Jeff Passan, the deal will allow both sides to avoid arbitration, and it runs through 2023. And says, although Reynolds cannot become a free agent until after the 2025 season since he is a Super 2 eligible. With this deal, he will earn a total of $13.5 million over the next 2 years. If I'm Bryan Reynolds, I'm probably a little.
I want out.
I want out.
This makes him easier to trade, in my opinion.
You can get sure, yeah. Absolutely.
Because now you have a guarantee, right? Now you have that guarantee. Whoever if you're trading for him, now you know that you have control for a few more years at that price. I think it makes it easier.
Not to mention that contract, you're trading essentially a bag of chips.
Yeah.
13.5 over the next 2 years. Come on.
As far as what the Pirates are doing, it's clear that they're not. I think this says we're not trying to hold on to him. They're saying, hey, no one wants to meet our asking price for Bryan Reynolds. Let's up the ante a little bit. Let's secure him for a couple more years. Again, fire your agent. Bryan Reynolds, fire your agent. This is no. Demand out of Pittsburgh or play through this and go get a bag somewhere else. This was not a good deal.
Not a great
Pirates aren't sneaky. If this was a long-term thing, if they said they wanted to build around Key Bryan and Bryan Reynolds, they would have been the same thing. It would have been a 5 or 6 year deal. Saying, hey, this is our cornerstone for $12.
Yeah, $1,000.
I know what they're doing. And I think this makes it easier to trade, and it makes it easier to ask for a couple top prospects from another team.
Yeah.
When you can secure Bryan Reynolds for a couple years.
Yeah.
I pulled his numbers. I mean, last year, kind of recapping, 159 games, 137 of them were in center field. I think that's impressive. Like that's a demanding position to play that much. He had 169 hits, 24 tanks, 90 ribs, an OPS of 912. OPS plus of 146.
That is a very valuable tradable piece.
Go get him and give something up for him because he needs to go play somewhere to compete. He was an all-star last year. He's probably going to be another one this year. Go get him. Who? Where would you pick? Primarily center field. Switch hitter, isn't he?
Is he?
I think he is.
Let's see. They
I say Rangers.
Rangers. I was gonna say, do they still have Michael?
No,
A.
they
Taylor?
got
They still got Michael A. Taylor Roman Center out there in Kansas City.
They do. That'd be a good fit. Kansas City.
Bump him out of there.
Adolis Garcia is in Texas, so that won't work.
Yeah, Michael Taylor's out there in center. Yeah, no. Sorry. That experiment didn't really.
Who's in center for the Tigers? Badu?
Yeah.
And then Riley Green will be in right when he's healthy. Interesting. I would like that. I could see the Royals, but not this year. No point in giving up all that stuff this year.
Yeah, no. Make a run at it next year or something.
Phillies?
Nah. Don't they have a little bit of a log jam out there in the outfield?
Odubel Herrera playing center field. Include him and then a couple prospects and go get him. Bohm. Send out Odubel Herrera, Bohm, and another prospect and go get Bryan Reynolds. Not Ryan Reynolds.
Not right. I mean, if you can get Ryan Reynolds, go for it.
Good-looking guy, but he's not available.
If you can somehow work that package out, more power to you. But no, Bryan Reynolds. That's the guy you want to go for. And
I would take that.
If there's any Phillies front office members out there listening, Bryan is the guy that you want.
Can Bohm play first base?
Can Bohm act? Is there some sort of like three-way trade option here? Maybe send Bohm to Hollywood.
He's got the lettuce for it. He's got
to get Reynolds.
Got a lot of lettuce. Good looking cat.
Yeah, there's a lot of good looking dudes in this projected deal. Bohm, Ryan Reynolds. It can work. But again, Philly, if you're listening, you want Bryan Reynolds, not Ryan Reynolds.
Bohm, Odubel Herrera, and a prospect. Maybe some cash. Throw cash at it. That's what
some
Dombrowski
cold hard
does.
cash.
Just throw money at it. I like that. That's a good trade right there.
Throw money at it. Nate, that about wraps it up for this particular episode. I know we got a little close in the book segment here. We got a few miscellaneous items to run through here real quick before we wrap it up. My first one, really my only one, was I just wanted to point out the fact that Pujols.
He got it.
Literally, it was like the day after you changed your tune, which, by the way, I had multiple people in the DM saying, talking to you, basically just being like, you can't just flip the script like that. You got to commit to the take, which I thought you had, but then you're like, yeah, no, I don't think he can do it.
Oh no, it's just.
And then he goes out there and does what he does.
Yeah.
Look, let's
That's
just say
a lot of home runs, dude. Like
let's just say it right here, right now. This is your last chance. I'll welcome you back to the take with open arms if you want, but beyond today, can't change your mind. So
okay, I'm saying no.
Okay,
he does not get it.
Didn't think you'd flip on me like that, but here we are.
I'm just like the way his hitting mechanics have changed. He's trying to get every ounce of power with that leg kick. I could see maybe him getting 11 or 12.
Like Kevin Malone said.
Prove me wrong. I'm down, though. I'm super down to see it.
Gotta believe in something.
I'm down, but like, just no. I'm gonna lean on the no. Because why not? Everyone else is saying yes, so I'm gonna say no because of all the stuff I've already mentioned and the fact that he's 105 years old and straight heels, all Flintstone feet.
That's 2 straight episodes we've talked about Albert Pujols'.
What do they say in Batman? You're either the hero
or you live long enough to see yourself become the villain. Well, if that's your logic, that happened with the LA thing. Like that was a while ago. Yeah. And not the Dodgers. I'm talking the Angels. People are like, really, you're gonna go out west? So that happened a while ago.
No more flip flopping. I'm saying no.
That's fine.
But I'm super down to see it because why not? 700 home runs. It'd be cool to see in our lifetime.
Why not?
For our whole lifetime. Like our whole lifetime, we would have seen all 700 home runs. That's cool. Yeah.
I mean, honestly, if why not is the mantra, why not just go for the record?
Why not? Stick around.
Retract the statement.
Try out a lefty swing. See how it looks.
Play it out a couple more years. Julio Franco did it.
Save the knees. That guy's just straight icing those knees after every game in the clubhouse.
Oh, no doubt. But, I mean, hey, if you want this to be your final season, then you're going to have to kick it into gear a little bit here if you want to go for the all-time record. But anything's possible.
Yeah, get it going. At some point, that lineup is going to start to try and win games. And I don't know if he's going to be the best option for it. That's all. I don't think he gets enough ABs. Because at some point, they're going to have to start to figure out how to win games.
Anything's possible. Just ask Kevin Garnett.
Anything is possible.
You had some items you wanted to wrap up here with. What do you got?
Yeah, Torkelson getting his first tank with the Tigers.
At the expense of the Sox, but
it's pretty cool.
It's fine. Still got the dub.
Yeah. Stephen Kwan finally got his missed baseball with a bat. At 116 pitches, that's pretty impressive.
R.I.P. to the streak.
That's a great streak. I think that's different, dude. 116, that's impressive.
So here's the question, because it sounds like you were paying a little more closely attention to it. Hitting wise, how did he actually do? Because I feel like I just got so caught up with the streak that I'm like, what did he how did he actually hit during this span?
He's swinging it, dude.
Because he's
swinging it. Yeah.
His fantasy stock shot through the roof. Like his ownership in fantasy jumped like 50 or 60%, like overnight almost.
I mean, we could look up numbers. I mean, he's doing his thing. He's hitting 526. 10 for 19. Triple, 2 doubles. 8 walks. An OPS of 1392. OPS plus of 302.
That's pretty good.
So he's swinging it, dude. He's doing his thing. I like him. And he's not big. He's listed at 5'9", 170. I think that's probably generous.
It's pretty good.
I love it.
Pretty good. What else you got?
I know you put it on the story, but that Brett Phillips moment was like, I teared up. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, I did. I'm not gonna.
I teared up. Like, that's so cool, man. It's just like he's so in tune with stuff like that, and like it's just another example as to why it's bigger than baseball. It's bigger than us. It's bigger than players. It's just like it's a moment to give that little girl, like, you know. And for those unfamiliar with the story, he had met this little girl who had cancer, and she's kind of fighting through it now. And she was at the game, and before the game, she had given Brett one of her wristbands that, you know, basically says fighting against cancer and has her name. And and like while they're interviewing her, he hits a tank. And after the game, he's talking about, he's like, that's one of the hardest hit balls I've ever had in my career.
Yeah.
And he starts tearing up, and he's like, it's just, things are just bigger than a game. Things are just bigger in that moment. But like, you know, the fact that it's just cool, man. He's tapped in, and like, I love that. I love when players show that and they understand that. And like, what was the one a couple months ago with the kid that pulled the Aaron Judge card that was like really rare, and then he got to meet Aaron Judge, and Aaron Judge like signed it for him and took pictures with him. Mm-hmm. Like, it's just like, there's stuff that means so much to these kids that, like, I love that, you know. It's so cool because it's just perspective on, like, you know, a bad day for a big leaguer is not doing well at the plate or not doing well on the mound. Like, a bad day for, you know, kids watching is way, way worse. Yeah. So just to give her that moment, I thought that was really cool. Juan Soto getting to 100. I mean, finally, sheesh, took him long enough.
If you didn't know that he hit his 100th home run and you follow him on Instagram, you probably know now, because that man shared every celebratory post that anybody tagged him in.
Let's go. Why
within
not?
a 24-hour period, which not a knock against him. I would do the same thing. I just thought it was funny because, like, You know, like on the story when you see like the little notches for each story,
Yeah,
and they just get smaller and smaller. It was like specks,
clicking
dude.
through all of them.
Specks. Yeah. There were so many. I was like, this is informative.
Yeah,
Well,
that's cool. Yeah, I mean, this is a first of many, many milestones he'll cross. He is unreal, unreal. But yeah, congratulations to him. And then Alyssa Nakin for the Giants making a little appearance, first time ever for a woman to be on the field during a major league game. Coach at first base. I think the third base coach got tossed for something. I didn't even see why they got tossed, but she slid into coach first base. It's cool because just like she was a cool cat about it. She was like, I'm just trying to help my team win. Like, whatever. This isn't, it's a great moment, but like I have a job to do and like we're trying to win ball games. I'm like, let's go. I like that. Dope mentality. So yeah. Cool stuff this week. Good week. Good week of baseball.
Good week here.
Good stuff going down. Yeah.
Let's keep it rolling.
That's all I got though.
That's all I got.
All right. Well,
see you guys on Monday. Yep.
Don't go chasing curveballs.
We love y'all, and as always, looking forward to talking more baseball with you guys soon. Until next time, stay filthy.